The ability to be alone is one of the most underrated and misunderstood virtues in life. Society often equates solitude with loneliness, as though the absence of others implies the absence of fulfillment. But the truth is that some of the most profound revelations, transformations, and achievements in history have emerged from moments of isolation. Being alone is not a weakness, it is a strength. It is the furnace in which the greatest fires of purpose, clarity, and identity are forged. Let us consider the very nature of solitude. When you are alone, you step away from the distractions of the world. The noise that constantly pulls your attention in 100 different directions suddenly quiets. In that silence, you can hear the voice of your soul. You can hear the whisper of divine guidance. You can assess who you are without the influence of external opinions. This is the foundation of self-awareness, the ability to confront your inner self without pretense. Being alone grants you the time to reflect deeply. In the rush of daily life, we rarely pause long enough to ask ourselves the critical questions: what do I want? Where am I going? Am I living according to my purpose? These are the questions that can only be answered in moments of stillness. Think of solitude as a clearing in the forest of your mind. It is where the clutter of thoughts, fears, and external influences dissipates, leaving space for truth to emerge. Clarity cannot be forced, it must be invited, and solitude is the invitation. The great innovators and leaders throughout history, those who altered the course of humanity, often sought clarity through solitude. They stepped away from the crowd to connect with a vision that was bigger than themselves. When you are alone, you are not just retreating from the world, you are reconnecting with the essence of who you are. In the absence of others, you are free to explore your own thoughts and emotions. You rediscover your values, your passions, and your dreams. You gain the courage to admit truths you may have suppressed and to confront the fears you've avoided. This process is not always comfortable. Solitude can be intimidating because it forces you to face yourself without distractions. But within that discomfort lies growth. It is in those quiet moments of self-reconnection that you learn to truly accept yourself. You no longer need the validation of others because you understand your worth is not tied to their approval. Some of the greatest acts of creation come in solitude. When you are alone, your mind is free to wonder, to imagine, and to innovate without the constraints of external expectations. Creativity requires focus, and focus is most easily found in isolation. Consider the artists, inventors, and thinkers who have changed the world. Their breakthroughs often came in moments of solitude, away from the pressures of public opinion. Whether it was on a mountaintop in a quiet study or during long walks in nature, their solitude became the fertile ground for innovation. If you aspire to create something meaningful, embrace the power of being alone. Use that time to experiment, to dream, and to craft a vision that is uniquely yours. Remember, solitude is not the absence of activity, it is the space where profound activity begins. Being alone strengthens your inner core. It teaches you resilience because you learn to rely on yourself. It builds emotional independence because you stop looking to others to fill the void within you. This inner strength becomes the anchor that steadies you in the storms of life. When you are alone, you learn to be your own source of encouragement. You discover that you are enough. You no longer fear rejection because you have built a foundation of self-acceptance. You become unshakable, not because you have avoided pain, but because you have faced it head-on in solitude and emerged stronger. In the noise of the world, intuition often gets drowned out. But in solitude, you can reconnect with that still small voice inside you, the voice that guides you towards your highest potential. Intuition is a powerful tool, but it can only be accessed in moments of quiet reflection. Solitude gives you the space to listen to your instincts, to feel the nudges of divine inspiration, and to discern the right path for your life. When you learn to trust your intuition, you no longer need constant advice from others. You become confident in your ability to make decisions that align with your purpose. Loneliness and solitude are not the same. Loneliness is the feeling of being disconnected, while solitude is the act of choosing to connect with yourself. When you understand this distinction, you can transform moments of loneliness into opportunities for growth. The next time you feel lonely, do not rush to fill the void with distractions. Instead, sit with that feeling and ask yourself what it is teaching you. Often, loneliness is a signal that you have been neglecting your inner self. Use that time to nurture your relationship with yourself. Learn to enjoy your own company, and you will find that loneliness loses its power over you. For those who seek a deeper connection with the divine, solitude is essential. It is in the quiet moments away from the chaos of life that you can hear the whispers of spiritual wisdom. Solitude allows you to pray, meditate, and reflect without interruption. Many spiritual leaders throughout history have emphasized the importance of solitude. They understood that true spiritual growth requires stepping away from the world to commune with the Creator. In solitude, you find not only yourself, but also the presence of a higher power guiding you. Solitude offers a unique kind of freedom. When you are alone, you are free to be entirely yourself. You are free from the expectations, judgments, and demands of others. You are free to dream without limits, to think without fear, and to grow without interference. This freedom is not just a luxury, it is a necessity. It is the foundation of a life lived with purpose and authenticity. Without solitude, you risk losing yourself in the noise of the world. But with solitude, you gain the clarity, strength, and freedom to become everything you were created to be. In the annals of history, many great leaders and visionaries were forged in solitude. It was not the applause of crowds or the approval of their peers that prepared them for greatness, but the time they spent alone, wrestling with their doubts, fears, and dreams. Solitude is the training ground where character is built and purpose is clarified. Imagine a seed planted in the soil. It is buried in darkness, hidden from the world. Yet it is in this solitary state that the seed begins to germinate, to grow roots, and to prepare for its eventual emergence into the light. Your moments of solitude are like that soil, dark and quiet, but full of potential. It is where you develop the roots that will sustain you when you step into the light of your destiny. Being alone provides a rare opportunity for self-discovery. When you are constantly surrounded by others, it is easy to lose sight of who you are. You adopt their beliefs, mimic their behaviors, and conform to their expectations. But when you are alone, you are free to ask the deeper questions: who am I? What do I believe? What do I want from life? Self-discovery is not a one-time event, it is a lifelong journey. Each moment of solitude peels back another layer of your identity, revealing truths you may have long ignored. You learn what drives you, what scares you, and what brings you joy. This knowledge is invaluable because it forms the foundation of a life lived with intention. The modern world is filled with distractions, notifications, advertisements, and the endless chatter of social media. These distractions pull your attention away from what truly matters. But solitude acts as a shield, protecting you from the noise and allowing you to focus on your priorities. In solitude, you can disconnect from the demands of the outside world and reconnect with what is truly important: You can evaluate your goals, align your actions with your values, and eliminate the distractions that do not serve your purpose. This focused state of mind is essential for achieving greatness. Emotional intelligence, the ability to understand and manage your emotions, is a critical skill for success in life. Solitude is one of the best ways to develop this skill. When you are alone, you have the time and space to reflect on your feelings without the influence of others. You learn to identify your emotions, understand their triggers, and manage them effectively. You become more aware of your emotional patterns and gain the tools to respond rather than react. This self-awareness extends to your interactions with others, making you a more empathetic and effective communicator. Solitude teaches you the courage to be different. When you spend time alone, you realize that you do not need to conform to the standards of the world. You learn to embrace your uniqueness and stand firm in your identity. This courage is essential because the path to greatness often requires you to go against the grain. It requires you to take risks, challenge norms, and pursue a vision that others may not understand. Solitude equips you with the strength to walk this path with confidence. Some of the most critical decisions in life require a clear and focused mind. Solitude provides the perfect environment for thoughtful decision making. When you are alone, you can weigh your options, consider the consequences, and make choices that align with your values and goals. In solitude, you are not swayed by the opinions or pressures of others. You can trust your intuition and make decisions with clarity and conviction. This ability to make sound decisions is one of the most powerful benefits of solitude. Legacy is not built in the crowd, it is built in the quiet moments of solitude. It is in these moments that you craft your vision, develop your skills, and lay the foundation for the impact you want to leave on the world. Think of solitude as the workshop where you shape the legacy you will leave behind. It is where you refine your ideas, sharpen your talents, and prepare for the opportunities that will come your way. Without solitude, you risk living a life that is reactive rather than intentional. One of the greatest gifts of solitude is learning to be your own best friend. When you are comfortable with yourself, you no longer feel the need to seek constant validation or approval from others. You become your own source of support, encouragement, and joy. This self-sufficiency does not mean that you isolate yourself from the world. Rather, it means that you approach relationships from a place of strength rather than neediness. You are not afraid to be alone because you have built a solid foundation of self-love and self-respect. Being alone is a test of character. It reveals who you are when no one is watching. In solitude, there is no audience to impress, no one to judge your actions, and no one to blame for your choices. You are left with the raw truth of your character. This test is not meant to discourage you, it is meant to refine you. It is in the quiet moments of solitude that you confront your flaws, acknowledge your strengths, and commit to becoming the person you were created to be. This process of self-refinement is one of the most powerful aspects of solitude. There is a profound strength in silence. When you are alone and silent, you gain a new perspective on life. You begin to see the world with clarity and wisdom. You realize that silence is not emptiness, it is fullness. It is the space where truth resides. In silence, you find the strength to let go of what no longer serves you. You release the burdens of the past, the expectations of others, and the fears of the future. This act of release is incredibly empowering because it frees you to live fully in the present moment. The journey of solitude is not always easy, but it is always worth it. It is a journey of self-discovery, growth, and empowerment. It is a journey that leads to clarity, strength, and purpose. In solitude, you find the space to dream, the courage to act, and the strength to persevere. You become the person you were created to be, not because of the approval of others, but because of the work you have done in the quiet moments of your life. Solitude is often the gateway to profound spiritual awakening. When you remove yourself from the distractions of the world, you create an environment where your spirit can flourish. It is in the stillness of solitude that you become attuned to the voice of divine wisdom. You begin to sense a purpose greater than yourself, a calling that goes beyond the material pursuits of life. This spiritual awakening is not about isolation from others, but about alignment with the deeper truths of existence. Solitude allows you to connect with the eternal, to seek answers to life's biggest questions, and to experience the peace that transcends understanding. This connection enriches every area of your life, grounding you in a sense of meaning and direction that no external source can provide. Discipline is one of the cornerstones of success, and solitude is a powerful tool for cultivating it. When you are alone, you take full responsibility for your actions. There is no one to blame for your failures and no one to take credit for your successes. This sense of accountability fosters discipline. In solitude, you can establish routines that align with your goals. You can dedicate time to personal growth, skill development, and self-care. The habits you form in these moments of solitude become the building blocks of a disciplined and productive life. Over time, this discipline spills over into every area of your life, enabling you to achieve your dreams with focus and determination. Life is often lived in the fast lane, with little time to appreciate the beauty of quiet moments. Solitude invites you to slow down, to notice the simple joys that are often overlooked. The sound of birds singing, the warmth of the sun on your skin, the stillness of a starry night, these are the moments that bring richness to life. When you embrace solitude, you develop a deeper appreciation for the world around you. You begin to see beauty in the ordinary, to find joy in the present, and to cultivate gratitude for the blessings in your life. This shift in perspective transforms how you experience the world, filling your life with peace and contentment. Life is filled with challenges, and resilience is essential for overcoming them. Solitude plays a crucial role in building this resilience. When you face difficulties, solitude provides a space for reflection and recovery. It allows you to process your emotions, learn from your experiences, and develop the inner strength to move forward. Resilience is not about avoiding hardship, it is about growing stronger through it. Solitude equips you with the tools to navigate life's storms with grace and courage. It teaches you that you are capable of overcoming any obstacle, not because of external support, but because of the strength you have cultivated within yourself. Ironically, one of the greatest benefits of solitude is its positive impact on relationships. When you spend time alone, you gain a better understanding of yourself, which allows you to show up more authentically in your interactions with others. You become less dependent on others for validation and more capable of giving and receiving love without conditions. Solitude also helps you set healthy boundaries. When you are comfortable being alone, you are less likely to tolerate relationships that are draining or toxic. You develop the confidence to prioritize your well-being and to seek connections that are rooted in mutual respect and support. Visionaries are those who see the world not as it is, but as it could be. This ability to dream and innovate often requires stepping away from the crowd. Solitude provides a space for visionaries to imagine, strategize, and plan without interference. If you aspire to create something extraordinary, solitude is your ally. It is in these moments of quiet reflection that you can visualize your goals, map out your strategies, and prepare for the challenges ahead. Solitude empowers you to think beyond the limitations of the present and to envision a future that is full of possibilities. Life is made up of seasons, and solitude is one of them. There will be times when you are surrounded by people, and there will be times when you are alone. Both seasons have their purpose. Embracing the seasons of solitude allows you to grow in ways that are not possible in the presence of others. During these seasons, you have the opportunity to reset, to recharge, and to realign with your purpose. You can let go of the past, refocus on the present, and prepare for the future. These seasons are not periods of emptiness, but times of profound growth and transformation. The time you spend alone is an investment in your legacy. It is in these moments that you can focus on the impact you want to make in the world. Whether it is through your work, your relationships, or your contributions to your community, solitude allows you to align your actions with your values. Building a legacy requires intentionality, and intentionality requires focus. Solitude provides the focus needed to create a life that is meaningful and impactful. It is not about what you achieve in the eyes of the world, but about the difference you make in the lives of others and the values you leave behind. Solitude is a celebration of self. It is an opportunity to honor who you are, to embrace your uniqueness, and to appreciate the journey you are on. When you choose solitude, you are choosing to prioritize your well-being, your growth, and your purpose. This celebration is not about selfishness, it is about self-care. It is about recognizing that you are worthy of love, respect, and attention, even from yourself. When you celebrate yourself in solitude, you cultivate a sense of joy and fulfillment that no external source can provide. Creativity thrives in solitude. The world is full of distractions that can cloud your ability to think deeply and imagine freely. In solitude, your mind is free to wander, to explore uncharted territories, and to piece together ideas in ways that are uniquely yours. Many of history's greatest works of art, literature, and innovation were born in solitude. The painter in their studio, the writer at their desk, the inventor in their workshop, all find inspiration in the quiet spaces where their minds can roam without limits. Solitude removes the external noise and creates an environment where your creativity can flourish without fear of a judgment or interruption. In a world filled with chaos and complexity, solitude offers clarity. It is in the quiet moments of being alone that you can untangle the threads of your thoughts, identify what truly matters, and let go of what does not. Clarity is a rare and powerful gift, and solitude is one of the few places where it can be consistently found. When you take the time to be alone, you can step back from the immediate pressures of life and see the bigger picture. You can assess your goals, evaluate your relationships, and refine your priorities. This clarity empowers you to make decisions with confidence and to navigate life with purpose. Life's challenges often leave wounds that require time and space to heal. Solitude provides the sanctuary needed for this healing process. When you are alone, you can confront your pain without distractions, allowing yourself to process and release it in a healthy way. Healing in solitude does not mean isolating yourself from others permanently. It means taking the time you need to rebuild your strength so that you can re-enter the world with renewed energy and resilience. In solitude, you learn that healing is not a sign of weakness, but a testament to your strength and courage. Mental toughness is the ability to persevere through difficulties and to remain steadfast in the face of adversity. Solitude is a powerful tool for developing this quality. When you are alone, you are forced to confront your fears, doubts, and insecurities without the comfort of external validation or support. This process of self-confrontation builds resilience and fortitude. You learn to rely on your inner resources and to trust your ability to overcome challenges. Over time, this mental toughness becomes a core part of who you are, enabling you to face life's trials with confidence and composure. Mastery in any field requires focus, dedication, and practice, all of which are best cultivated in solitude. Whether you are an artist, a scientist, an athlete, or an entrepreneur, the time you spend alone honing your craft is what sets you apart from the rest. Solitude allows you to immerse yourself in your work without distractions. It is where you can experiment, make mistakes, and learn without fear of judgment. This undisturbed focus accelerates your growth and brings you closer to mastery. Over time, the skills you develop in solitude become the foundation of your success. One of the most empowering aspects of solitude is the confidence it brings. When you learn to be comfortable in your own company, you discover a sense of independence that is unshakable. You no longer feel the need to rely on others for your happiness, your validation, or your sense of worth. This confidence does not mean that you avoid relationships or connections. Rather, it means that you approach them from a place of strength rather than neediness. You can give and receive freely without fear of loss or rejection because you know that you are complete on your own. Inner peace is not found in the absence of problems, but in the ability to remain calm and centered amid them. Solitude is one of the most effective ways to cultivate this peace. When you are alone, you can tune out the noise of the world and tune into the stillness within. This inner peace becomes a source of strength in your daily life. It allows you to approach challenges with composure, to navigate conflicts with grace, and to find joy in the present moment. Solitude teaches you that peace is not something you seek externally, it is something you create within yourself. Reflection is one of the most transformative practices you can engage in, and solitude provides the perfect environment for it. In the quiet moments of solitude, you can look back on your experiences, learn from your mistakes, and celebrate your successes. Reflection is not about dwelling on the past, but about gaining insight that can guide your future. It allows you to see patterns, recognize growth, and identify areas for improvement. This process of self-examination is a powerful tool for personal development and a key to living a more intentional life. Life is a journey of becoming, and solitude is an essential part of that journey. It is in the quiet moments of being alone that you discover who you are, what you value, and what you are capable of achieving. Solitude is not a detour on the path to greatness, it is the path itself. In solitude, you become more self-aware, more resilient, and more aligned with your purpose. You learn to embrace the journey with all its twists and turns, knowing that each moment of solitude is shaping you into the person you were meant to be. Solitude teaches the invaluable art of listening not to the world, but to your inner voice. In the silence, you begin to hear the whispers of intuition, the echoes of past experiences, and the guidance of wisdom within. This inner voice often knows what the busy mind overlooks. It directs you toward decisions that align with your true self and away from distractions that lead to discontent. Listening in solitude is not passive, it is an active practice of tuning into the depths of your being. This form of listening sharpens your instincts, enhances your decision-making, and strengthens your connection to purpose. Over time, you find that the answers you seek externally often reside within you, waiting for the stillness to be heard. True spiritual strength is often forged in solitude. In moments of quiet separation from the noise of life, you draw closer to the divine. It is here that faith is tested and deepened, where the unseen becomes your guiding light. Solitude allows you to meditate, to pray, to question, and to seek understanding in ways that community alone cannot provide. This spiritual strength empowers you to face trials with grace and endure storms with courage. You learn to trust in the timing of life, to surrender control, and to find meaning in every experience. Solitude becomes your sacred space, a retreat where you recharge your spirit and reaffirm your connection to the eternal. Emotional independence is a cornerstone of personal freedom, and solitude is where it is cultivated. In your time alone, you learn to regulate your emotions without relying on others. You become your own source of comfort, your own voice of encouragement, and your own pillar of strength. This emotional independence does not mean rejecting support or community. Rather, it means being whole within yourself. When you no longer depend on others to validate your feelings or dictate your happiness, you approach relationships with confidence and clarity. Solitude teaches you that while love and connection are beautiful, they are not the source of your wholeness. You are. Many people fear silence because it exposes them to their innermost thoughts and insecurities. But in solitude, you learn to embrace silence as a companion, not an enemy. You discover that silence is not empty but full of possibilities. It holds the answers to questions you didn't know you were asking and provides the space for growth that noise cannot accommodate. Silence strengthens you by teaching patience, mindfulness, and self-acceptance. It creates a pause in the chaos of life, allowing you to reset and realign. As you grow comfortable with silence, you become less reactive, more thoughtful, and more intentional in your actions. You no longer fear the quiet because you understand its value. Leadership requires a vision, resilience, and the ability to inspire others, all qualities that are cultivated in solitude. Great leaders are not shaped solely in the presence of others, but in the quiet moments when they wrestle with decisions, reflect on their purpose, and prepare for the responsibilities ahead. Solitude gives you the space to refine your leadership skills. It allows you to think critically, to strategize without distraction, and to build the inner strength needed to guide others. When you embrace solitude as part of your leadership journey, you bring depth and authenticity to your role, inspiring those around you to follow not just your actions, but your example. In a world that often values external approval over internal fulfillment, solitude offers liberation. Time alone teaches you to detach from the need for validation from others. You begin to measure your worth not by accolades or opinions, but by your own standards and values. This shift frees you to live authentically. You no longer conform to expectations that do not align with your purpose. Instead, you pursue what truly matters to you, guided by your own compass. Solitude empowers you to define success on your terms, creating a life that reflects who you are rather than who the world expects you to be. Self-love is not an act of selfishness, but a recognition of your inherent worth. Solitude is where this love is cultivated. In the quiet, you learn to accept yourself without judgment, to appreciate your strengths, and to nurture your areas of growth. You begin to see yourself not through the lens of flaws, but as a work in progress, worthy of care and respect. This self-love radiates into every aspect of your life. It improves your relationships, enhances your confidence, and fuels your ambitions. Solitude shows you that loving yourself is not only possible, but essential for living a fulfilling and impactful life. Life is a narrative, and solitude gives you the power to rewrite yours. In moments of quiet reflection, you can evaluate the story you have been telling yourself about who you are and what you are capable of. You can identify limiting beliefs, challenge negative patterns, and replace them with empowering truths. This process of rewriting your story transforms your mindset. You begin to see yourself not as a victim of circumstances, but as the author of your destiny. Solitude provides the space to reclaim your narrative, to set new goals, and to pursue them with renewed determination. When life feels overwhelming, solitude reminds you of your inner resilience. It is in these moments alone that you realize how much strength you carry within you. You remember the challenges you have overcome, the lessons you have learned, and the ways you have grown. This resilience is not loud or boastful, it is quiet and steady. It is the strength that allows you to keep going when the path is difficult and to remain hopeful when the future is uncertain. Solitude teaches you that no matter what life throws your way, you have the capacity to endure and to rise above. As the world changes, the value of solitude remains constant. It is a timeless gift, offering lessons and benefits that transcend culture, age, and circumstance. In solitude, you find the essence of what it means to be human, a blend of vulnerability and strength, reflection and action, individuality and connection. To embrace solitude is to embrace the journey of self-discovery, growth, and fulfillment. It is not a rejection of the world, but a deeper engagement with it through the lens of your own unique perspective. Solitude is not a void, it is a wellspring of potential waiting to be tapped.